Hey folks, Green Stuff Gav here. This week we're back with some painting. Now, to keep in with the current memes going about is I've got, as part of my Disney Princess collection, a 3D print of Princess Peach I did a while back. Obviously I'll link the file below if I can still find it. It's been sat in my case for ages. I thought, yeah, with Jack Black's amazing song floating around the internet, I thought we'd give her a paint. So as per usual, I'll just crank on with it and do a bit of voiceover work. We've been undercoated in Colour Forges Black as per usual, and just like with the other figures, we'll start by dry brushing the base. So this will catch the bottom of the dress. So yeah, just a few layers of grey, just simple dry brush, nothing too exciting. Now, obviously Princess Peach is known for wearing pink, so we're going to start with GW Screamer Pink, which goes over black quite nicely. It's a little bit thin, a little bit translucent, but that's not the end of the world. That just aids where we'll highlight up. You can see Peach normally wears a couple of different shades of pink, but because yeah, we're going over black, we'll start with Screaming Pink all over, and then pick out the different bits later. Not being too careful here, just getting the colour all over is nice and thinly, not too heavy, so that we can go back and give it another coat later. So we're going to, while that's still wet, we're going to slap some Emperor's Children into the mix. I think a wet palette would be better because obviously it keeps all your paints alive for longer, but I haven't actually used one yet, so just sort of wet mixing it on partially on the palette and partially on the miniature itself. We're avoiding the bits we're going to leave darker pink because we'll pick them out separately. I was planning on leaving them quite close to Screamer Pink, but sort of when this colour goes on, I'm looking at it and I think it needs to come up a touch, so we're being careful not to go right into the very folds, because this is a darker pink. We can leave Screamer Pink as the shade. And slap some more Emperor's Children into the mix. Continue working the dress up. So again, we're going to go for like quite pink, almost pure Emperor's Children. So while the paint's still wet on the palette, we're going to mix it in. Being a little bit more careful here to leave sort of the shades right in the edge. Leave some of the previous pink right in the shade. Now the problem with a lot of models ripped from games like this, especially older games, is you can see there's no real folds to the dress. There's a few polygons, but that's not a lot. So what we'll do is we'll actually paint the folds on. So by picking out certain ridges with the pure Emperor's Children, that'll make it look like there's natural folds across the model. So you can see, you know, we're leaving some of the previous colour and just going for the highlights. Again, so this will depend on the model you download. So, and then we're gonna do some work on the darker pinks. These are quite straightforward. You've also got like a line on the bottom of the dress, so we're going to just pick that out as well. Just helps break the colour up a bit, just so it doesn't look too overwhelming. Right, Rat Skin Flesh. Princess Peach is quite pale. Has got quite pale skin, so rather than I normally start with Deathclaw Brown, I'm starting with Rat Skin because it's slightly lighter. And then from there, we'll be able to go for Cadian Flesh straight over the top. And that'll give us a really sort of like nice pale skin tone. So I tried to paint around the eyes here to leave them black, but it just didn't work with this model. So we can also see I'm going to cover all the hair with the same colour, is because what we'll do is where Peach's got this sort of like real blonde hair, is we can add yellows into this into Ratskin Flesh to give us the blonde hair, and then when we go Cadian over the skin tone, there will be two different colours. So yeah, Uriel yellow straight into the Ratskin Flesh, and just going to pick out all the hair. This is a nice sort of dark blonde shade, so yeah, we're going to get a complete coverage here. And then just keep adding in some Bad Moon's yellow. And we're painting these as highlights now, so similar to the dress, we're going to pick out certain levels just to try and give some depth. But we'll have to let that dry before we go to pure Bad Moons. There's a Cadian Flesh tone, again, it's quite thin paint, so this can go straight over the top of Ratskin Flesh. It's quite translucent, so that'll give us some natural blending, some shading. I'm trying to be a bit more careful here with the face, so we're leaving that shadow. Then while everything dries, bit of Retributor armor, just a bit of gold. It's a real sort of light gold color. You could go in and then mix in some silvers to give them actual highlights, but it's not really worth it. Here we go, highlighting the hair. Again, real sort of careful highlighting now. So also semi-painting in sort of hair texture, sort of painting in lines rather than just slapping colour everywhere, because that'll give us a bit more of a look of hair. Well, obviously the video games, they are just solid polygons. Right, so I go for Macragge blue on all the gems, just sort of, she's got 4 gems on her crown. I don't know what colours they are in the video game, but I'm just going to do 2 blue, 2 red. I would imagine there's probably a yellow one and a green one to match PlayStation colours, to Nintendo colours, but we'll see. Now here, I'm being really careful to pick out the eyes. So with a touch of black, just picking out the eyeliner. Where, again, polygons, they're not very well defined, so we're going to have to paint the detail on. So touch of white on all the gems, just to give them a bit of shine effect. And then we're going to try picking out these eyeballs. Very carefully. Now I make a mistake here. I go straight to Hoth blue for her eyes, for real blue eyes, but I should have painted them black first, let that dry, to give them some definition. But you'll see that at the end. Let's tidy up where that should be it. Thanks for watching, and as always, have fun.